Peace, y'all. What's going on? It's your guy, Rashawn, aka Looker, and this is Space Invaders TV. Welcome you all. Peace and blessings to you all. Just we ain't gonna waste no time today. We gonna get right into it. Hey man, shout out to Minnesota, Minneapolis to be exact. Shout out, man. Big up to the jurors coming through on that Derek Chauvin murder case. The prosecution. And I'm just thankful and grateful that the Floyd family got justice served. But it's not over yet because Chauvin will be getting his sentence about the second week of June of 2021. So I think he got about 8 weeks before he's actually sentenced, and then you actually see what he would, what the judge is going to impose. Right now it's looking like 12 and a half to 30 years. And me personally, I feel like, dude should get life, period, with no possibility of parole. You know what I'm saying? Because every time I think about, and just like I can imagine his family, George Floyd's family, period. Anytime you got to see that image of Derek Chauvin's knee on his neck with his hand in his pocket is so disrespectful. Like, dude is disrespectful. So it's like, hey, I could care I gives two fucks. Send him up the river for the rest of his life, yo. On the strength of just that alone. You know what I'm saying? But yo, I ain't gonna harp on that too long. I'm glad that the Floyd family got justice. Minnesota stood up. They was ready. Minneapolis was ready. They wasn't with it. If it wasn't going to go down, if it wasn't going to go right, they was going to go wrong. you know what I'm saying? Minneapolis been riding. They ain't with it, man. You know what I'm saying? They tired. And the people in Minneapolis and the jury, within that jury, they spoke. And I had high hopes of that anyway, and I have faith in that anyway, just from seeing the people, those citizens on the curb during George Floyd's last, minutes of his life, and the way the people were just, they were just helpless, and they were speaking out, and they were standing there just helpless. And then when you seen those same citizens that were giving their testimonies, they all shed tears. You know what I mean? Because they felt helpless, I should say. They said they felt helpless in that situation, and they watched the man dying, and they were trying to get that cop off of him. But just like the prosecution said, Derek Chauvin knew better. He just ain't do better. You know what I mean? Send them up the river packing. That's it. You know what I mean? So shout out to Minneapolis, man, for standing up. Peace and blessings with the Floyd family, man, and may the spirit of George Floyd, live on through his family and children. And may he be at peace, knowing that, it was justice served in his death, and it just didn't go silent and unheard and swept under the rug. And his use of drugs or what have you didn't deter that prosecution from laying the state, I should say, from laying the hammer, bringing wood to Derek Chauvin and his one defense lawyer. So yeah, peace. Big up to Minneapolis, man. Y'all stood up, and hey, man. You know, you gotta see what happens now with the young man Dante Wright. What's gonna happen in that case? You know, and how that's gonna play out. So we just have to keep our ears and eyes and watching and just hoping for some police reform. We need some reform on these police departments. More training. So yeah, and then just like and then maybe an hour or two after the verdict was handed down in the Derek Chauvin case, boom, another happens. Another police shooting, ultimately causing death. A young teenage girl. They said she was 15, 16. I don't know. She was a young teenage girl. You know, I don't want to put an age on it or not for sure because they was going back and forth with the ages. Makhiabryant, teenage girl. Officer pulls up on the scene. Was called to the scene about, you know, a young girl someone was trying to harm them with a knife. Still haven't got the full story myself. I'm hearing different things. Don't know really what's, because things have still been developing how that all kicked off too. And today is actually April the 22nd, Thursday, April the 22nd, 2021. And but all I know is just that then I heard some other things, that she was being bullied. Makhiabryant, if I'm saying her name properly, Makhiabryant was being bullied. So that made sense. That made sense to me why I seen what I seen through the cops' body camera when he pulled up. That was two things I immediately noticed watching through his body camera was once he was, well, three things. Let's for one. But it didn't sound like he was speaking too loud, right? But give me a second, y'all, because I'm gonna pull this video up because I want y'all to walk with me for a minute. I want y'all to walk with me for a minute. But yeah, it was three things I noticed. You know, one, it didn't seem like he was speaking very loud. Two, it seemed like Makhiabryant was like, she was blacked out. She had blacked out. She had pretty much like wrestled another young girl. When he stepped up, he's like yelling, but he's talking, but it doesn't sound like he's speaking loud enough. Then at the same time, she's wrestling a young girl down to the ground. Then on top of that, at the same time, I see this guy. He didn't look like no teenager at all. He wasn't. He's kicking the young girl that Makhiabryant has wrestled to the ground, right in front of the freaking cop. This dude. So I'm saying, and me, what? Okay, why? Where was the other cops? Nobody. Why nobody jumped on his ass? Because he's kicking a young girl right in front of your face. You immediately goes and look over here to her, and instead of like the young girl was zoned out, you could have tackled her. You know what I've noticed as well is that these cops may seem like, in that situation, that cop may have been so nervous that the only thing he could think of was pull out his daggone gun instead of this girl. He didn't even notice that she's a young girl. She's a young girl, a teenage girl. You could have tackled her. She didn't even see you. She was blacked out. You could have tackled this young girl and knocked her to the ground. You could have tased the young girl. You could have spoken louder, first and foremost, too. Because from what I was looking at with the body camera, hold on, give me a second. I'm going to try to pull this up because I want y'all to walk with me for a minute. Because because I want to see if, you know, y'all see the same thing I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know. I feel like dude could have, dude should have honestly, the cops should have honestly spoke louder. You know what I mean? I'm trying to pull this out. Bear with me, y'all, man. But yeah, you know, it's all right. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to. Before I do it, I want to make sure I'm getting that I can get a clear enough view of this thing here. The best view I can get. Okay, let's try this here. We'll play it for a minute so I'll make sure so y'all can see. Make sure it's a clear enough view. Hold on, y'all. That daggone light, boy, man, strong fan. Let's go back. Let's try this one. But yeah, man, it's just crazy.
Before the Chauvin verdict was announced, an officer shot a 16-year-old girl in Columbus, Ohio.
Hold on.
Police released a portion of the body cam footage showing what happened, and we're about to show you part of it in V1.
Yeah, man, this is just crazy. So peep it out.
Columbus police released this body camera footage Tuesday, showing the chaotic scene leading up to makhiabryant's death. The clip appears to show the 16-year-old chasing someone outside a home.
But you see homeboy kicking. You seen homeboy right there.
Before 4 shots rang out.
He ran up kicking the girl.
Officer Reardon was working a one-officer car. He was hired in December of 2019. One-officer car. He was hired in...
We're gonna go back and get that
car
being
chased falls to the ground before
we're gonna pause up something here.
Someone outside a home.
I'm gonna try to make this bigger.
Chased falls to the ground before 4 shots.
All right, we're gonna get a full screen here. Hold on, y'all.
Officer Reardon.
The girl being chased falls to the ground before 4 shots rang out.
Officer Nicholas Reardon.
All right, so the cop name is Officer Nicholas Reardon. We got that part. But I'm trying to show y'all something here, right?
Falls to the ground.
Homeboy right here. Right there. He's kicking the one little girl. Let me back it up a little bit for y'all. He's kicking. Where we at? He's kicking the little girl. But the officer, homeboy is right there. Right there. Kick that little girl. But the officer points his attention right here, even though I seen her rev back. Well, why not tackle her?
Nicholas Reardon.
Why not tackle that young girl? Okay? Why not tackle her to the ground? I thought it was another officer there. Let's go back for a minute, because I thought I seen another officer come out of the corner. Right there. So where was you at when she revved back? Hold on. I want to show you. So this officer's right here. This officer's right here. He could have got over there to her. Tackled her. Meanwhile, and this guy right here, he's kicking the young girl. I could not. This was like this. After this was the second thing I seen, and I'm like, yo, fam, like, you shot her. You shot this young teenage girl right here. This dude was right in your face, kicked the girl down on the ground. I understand she had a knife revs back right here, but there's another cop right here. He could have got in there, bam, knocked her down. I don't think she would have swung that knife at that cop. When she would have laid her eyes and noticed that that was a cop, I don't think she would have revved that knife. She would have, tried anything on that cop. He could have came in, tackled her, knocked her down, boom. Knife probably would have fell out. This dude right here, if anybody should have got their ass shot, he should have got shot for kicking that young girl down. And then and he did it right in front of the cop face, man. That was the craziest thing to me. I'm done with it.
Outside a home with a knife. The girl being chased falls to the ground.
So that was crazy to me, man.
Officer Nicholas Reardon.
So the cop that shot makhiabryant is Officer Nicholas Reardon. Okay, so we know that now. So what's funny was also crazy to me is that what I just showed y'all, like why? Because after she was down on the ground, immediately you seen the cop come from you seen that officer come right there from the left, and you seen another one come into the camera from the right, and then you still had Officer Reardon, or the cop Reardon, standing in front of her. And he's like, what do y'all need me to do? After he shot her, he didn't even know. They said this cop just got on the force in 2019. So he's new. Not even a 2-year rookie yet, huh? He's not even quite 2 years yet. I think he said he came on in November, December, or something like that in 2019. So he's not. So he's not quite 2 year. He's still a rookie. You know what I mean? The thing is this, like I said, police reform, and training. On the national average for police academy training is 13 to 19 weeks. And this is at golawenforcement.com. It's 13 to 19 weeks on average, national average for police training. Now you have some cities around the country that require a little more than what their state may ask. For instance, you have North Carolina. The state only asks that anyone going to do police academy, it has to be 16 weeks. Now, during North Carolina, they say, okay, they go further. They say, okay, yeah, we want 26 weeks in all. So you have to put 26 weeks in to be a Durham police officer. I think that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is this. I feel that every nationally it should be at least it should be either 12 months, 18 months, or 24 months of training. And I feel that the general public should vote on that. How much training should it be? If we can vote on other government issues or government seats, then we need to be able to vote on a police training. How long their training should be. That's a no-brainer. For one, let's get with that. And the reason why I say that is because now, if you got 12 months, 18 months, 24 months, now you have these recruits in training for longer periods of time now. Now you're able to really lay your eyes on them and really pay attention to them. See how they are. Because, see, some people may sign up for the training in certain states or whatever and just say, okay, they condition their mind and say, okay, well, I only have 4 months of training. So, they could be on their behavior for 4 months. Everybody starts a new job. They're going to put on their best. They're going to put their best face on. You know what I mean? They're going to put their best attitude that they could possibly give you out there. Some people just so much of jerk offs, they can't even hide it. You know what I mean? Some people are just so much of a fluck ups that they can't even hide it. They just gonna mess up all the time. But then you have those that are a little more witty and know how to play the game. But see, well, if you stretch the game out a little bit and move that goalpost back a little more, then you'll actually get to see the longer someone's around you, it's known that their behavior will change. Why? Because they will get comfortable with you. They will get comfortable with their surrounding. And then they'll start to do things that may not be, that'll be out of the norm. Whether it be start coming back a little late for breaks, not putting as much effort in the training as they did maybe the first few weeks they started. Just seeing them slack off as a whole. I'm saying this from me being a manager and training people. I'm saying this because I played sports and I watched people come in and want to be, but then once they see there's other competition there, it's not so much, you know what I'm saying? They don't, you know, or if they feel like they got it in the bag, if they got this position or they got the spot in the bag, they tend to lack off a little bit. They tend to slack. You know what I mean? So I say if you go through the academy a little longer, you get to see people see how they are mentally, physically, how they're going to hold up. You know? You got to understand something. Some of these folks, they come from backgrounds. Some of those folks that they weren't around many people, and then you put them in. Then they become police officers for whatever reason, from whatever called them to become an officer. Now they're put in a position where they have to be around people. Now they have to learn because they never were around so many different types of people before. Now they're learning this while they're on a job of being an officer, a police officer. They're learning how to be around people. They're learning how to take in crowds. You know what I'm saying? They have to learn how to talk to people. Some of them never know how to talk to people. They just talk rude. They forget that, yo, you are to serve and protect the people. Why are you talking to people like they're beneath you, like they're the scum of the earth? You're supposed to serve and protect the people. That's what you're there for. You're a servant, a public servant. That's what you're there for. You took an oath to do that. So these things, you know, they got out of training, and they forgot that fast, you know, because they're turning these trainings so fast. You know what I mean? And it's obvious. Some people say, how you know? No, I ain't no cop. None of that. I'm just saying, you hear at times the cities and states they're short on officers. They're trying to get recruits. They're flipping these classes, and they're moving on to the next. They need so many on the streets. They're putting people out there on these streets too fast. You gotta pay attention to these folks. All it takes is a little time. It's obvious. These people aren't ready. They weren't ready. That's why they out here and everybody's screaming this. They were scared. They feared for their life. Whether they were or they weren't, or they just know their state laws and they're playing off of that because they know what they would get off on certain things, and that's why you see certain officers. That's one of the reasons why you see some of these cops getting off, because of their laws when it comes to the policing their laws. And then you the other part is the way the prosecutors in these states are not, so they're not putting their best foot forward, and they're playing off of, they're using they're blaming the dead for why they died in your custody. when it was your negligence, you're blaming, just like the George Floyd trial. You had the defense, the one defense lawyer trying to blame George Floyd, blaming George Floyd for his own death. Like, the man was laughing and talking and everything before they showed footage when he was in the store. And you blame this man because, oh, he had a big heart. Oh, he was on drugs. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, he had COVID before. Oh, he had high blood pressure. Oh, it was the carbon monoxide. You blame everything besides what the truth was and what people seen in their face. And this is the type of thing that is happening across the country when you have these cops shooting and murdering people right before your eyes. And everybody freaks out. So we need police reform, right? And they need to pass that Carroll's law. They need to pass it. That's a law it's like an intervening law which mandates police officers, partners, to step in and intervene when and if they see something their partners are doing that's wrong. Buffalo, New York put that in place, and it's named after Carolyn Horn. She was a Buffalo police officer that was fired 8 years ago from the police department in Buffalo because she had a partner, a white cop was her partner, and he was choking a man. She stepped in and said, "Hey, you're gonna kill him, stop." The man was gasping and telling the cop that he was choking him, he couldn't breathe. She stepped in. Hadn't she not, the man would have died. But she got fired and lost her pension at that time. 2 weeks ago, she got that back, and it was almost $1 million. Her pension is $800,000. But that's what you want. That's what it should be. It should not be. If you're an officer, you should not be turning when your partner's out here doing some dingbat stuff, you shouldn't be turning your cheek on them. And as I said, looking at that video, there was an officer right there that could have tackled makhiabryant. He could have tackled her. He was closer. He could have knocked her down. Meanwhile, you could have also took care of homeboy that was kicking the girl, that young girl. You know what I mean? And then after you shot after that cop shot makhiabryant, this guy that was just kicking the young girls off to the side, like, oh my God. Guess what, buddy? They're gonna come from your dumb ass too when all this over. What's gonna happen is, they're gonna come for you too. You know what I'm saying? But so when I talk about these things, we gotta open up the book. We gotta talk about the whole thing. We gotta talk about everything we seen. We just can't talk about, okay, we seen this cop shoot. Let's talk about everything we seen here. Can't get tunnel vision, man. Let's talk about everything you seen here. And I'm gonna tell you right now, whatever the situation, that dude that was kicking that young girl, watch how they flip the script. Watch how I'm telling you. Watch when they get thick. Watch what they do. Watch what they do. You know what I'm saying? Watch what they do. When everything comes out, because see right now, tensions are high. Everything is high. And Ohio, Franklin County, Columbus, Ohio is in Franklin County. Franklin County has been known to be laying them down. From January 2020 till April the 20th, Franklin County, Ohio, which Columbus is in Columbus, Ohio. Columbus is in Franklin County, Ohio. Franklin County has killed 8 people from January 2020 till April 20th, 2020. They have killed 8 people. Makhiabryant made, the young lady, may she rest in peace, she made number 8. Okay? Before that, you had Casey Goodson, December 2020. You had Andre Hill, the man that was, Casey Goodson was coming home from a doctor's appointment, or a dentist appointment, and he came in the house, he had some sandwiches in his hand. He was a working guy, he had a regular little job, and he was just doing well for himself. Cop shot him in the back. Sheriff officer shot him right in the back. This is Columbus, Ohio. Shot him in the back. Okay? Andre Hill was stopping at a family member's house or something like that and dropping money off to them. And, a neighbor called because it was it had a domestic violence issue. But the neighbor was calling for herself. The police showed up and runs into Andre Hill, but he's coming out and he has not even got nothing to do with that. He had a cell phone in his hand. The sheriff officer shot him, killed that man. Made no sense. And let's not talk about what 2014 with Tamir Rice, the young man. I think he was 12 years old. Shot and killed him. He had a water gun. They shot and killed that young boy like that, And my thing is, how you not seeing and paying attention? These people are just jumping out, blacking out, and this is what I mean. If this is not screaming inexperience, I don't know what it is. Inexperienced hotheads. I don't know what it is if that's not screaming that. So like I said, Franklin County, Ohio has one of the highest rates of fatal police shootings in Ohio and the U.S. Since January 2020, there have been 8 people killed in cop shootings in Columbus / Franklin County, Ohio. You can look it up. This is in the Columbus Dispatch. The ColumbusDispatch.com. Look it up. I don't bring nothing to y'all that I don't know. And so, now, from January of 2020 up until April 2021. Now, out of those 8 killings, some of them was like type standoffs. You had some robbery. I think a couple of them was like some robbery issues, like, going on, and something else with a stolen cars, high speed chase, something like that. But I'm talking about people that was actually like straight up murdered. You know what I mean? And the first one going nationally was Tamir Rice, 2014. That was in. Then you got Andre Hill, Casey Goodson, Makhiabryant. You know what I mean? Like, this is just crazy, man. Police reform. That's what just needs to happen, straight up. And they need to come with they need to do the Carroll's Law. You know what I mean? Because if they had that would have helped those officers that was with Derek Chauvin. Those cops, George Floyd could still be alive. Those cops could be home with their families as well. Everything could be fine with it because someone they could have stopped that before it got to where it's at. And that's all I'm saying, man. Police reform. Let me move on. So And another thing, we're gonna go here with and it's funny how when all of these killings and stuff like these police shooting and killing and murdering people right before our eyes, and the public gets to see this thing thanks to camera phones and everything of that nature, and you know, people getting to see this happen real time, which this has been going on since the beginning. You know what I mean? Like I spoke last week, you know, the police were originally formed back during the slavery days to catch the slaves that were running away. You know what I mean? And then, you know, they would beat the crap out of you and bring you back to the slave master. You know what I mean? And then he'll beat the crap out of you and then go put you in an outhouse in a hole outside somewhere for months and weeks until he got tired of punishing you. So let's just start with that there. This, you know, so our people have been dealing with trauma in our communities for so long, and then there's been so much trauma that we, like, in our communities, we've been doing things to ourselves because we hurt for various reasons. And then to see somebody that's supposed to be, that took an oath to serve and protect, and then they're killing you, and then you have city officials that say they want you to remain calm and have peaceful protests. How do you want people to be calm and have peaceful protests when you're murdering people right in front of their eyes? And then you want to, then you have those ignorant folks that say, well, y'all killing each other. First of all, there's a whole different situation because everybody in these neighborhoods are not killing each other. You know what I'm saying? So you have people, working class people, that get fed up with all of it, and then you got to see someone that's supposed to be serving and protecting, killing innocent people in front of them. So let's just get that straight. Everybody in these communities are not killing each other. You have some bad batches in there. And like I said, people dealing with trauma, people dealing with different things, and people don't know how to, some people don't know, they only know one way how to survive. I'm not making no excuses for them. I'm just trying to let you understand something. Some people only have one way to survive. Some people jack their lives up so bad, they only got one way to survive. They only know one way how to hustle. You understand me? So then they go out and they're doing things. That's not everybody in the community. You know what I'm saying? So you can't mix that in. You can't say like, oh, they killing each other. That's not everybody. The same way that the level-headed people don't, the same way level-headed people don't say, we know all cops ain't bad. We know all cops ain't killing. We know there's some good cops out there that honor that badge, and they play no games about that badge and their job. You know what I mean? We understand that. We know that. Us level-headed people, open-minded people, we understand that and know that. So let's not have tunnel vision and just look at these things one way. You know what I mean? And that's all I'm saying. But moving on, man. So, now we got... So, makhiabryant was like an hour or two after Derek Chauvin verdict came in. Then, like, less than 24 hours after we hear about the makhiabryant, then you have Andre Brown gets gunned down in the morning, April 21st, 2021, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. And as I told y'all last week, if you go back and watch the video, if you haven't seen it, I talked about it last week. I said, when these things happen, it seems like they happen in threes and fours. Every time you hear one shooting, there's another one. They like back to back, And I often feel like it's a cult going on within these police departments. That's just how I feel about it, because it's like they just drop. it just keep dropping like that, you know. So Andre Bryant, the sheriff down in Elizabeth City, North Carolina, which is in the northeastern part of the state of North Carolina, which is like a coastal city down by the coast. The police was serving a warrant for Andrew Brown Jr. They was serving a warrant for him in the morning of April 21st, 2021. Supposedly, what the sources saying, that he went to take off in his car. The police let off shots inside of his vehicle. They had body cameras. Nobody's still seen anything yet. Now, the thing is, what's crazy is, my question immediately was, okay, was he pursuing you guys in this car? When he got in the car, was he using this car as a weapon? Was he trying to mow you guys down or run you over or something in his vehicle that caused you to shoot this man? If not, then I'm trying to figure out, why did you shoot this man? Now, you know, anybody you ever known, you known about warrants and getting served warrants, if you heard about anything about that, I don't know one person that just goes freely. Unless you caught them sleeping. And that they like literally sleeping. And that's why they go early in the morning when they have these arrest warrants. Because it's peaceful. They can catch you sleeping. Literally. So, obviously, Andrew Brown, they ain't catch him sleeping. You know what I mean? So, he was up and out. So, my thing is, y'all already know that you going that early in the morning, you had to be prepared, right? But y'all was overly prepared. Y'all was ready to kill. You know what I mean? Y'all was ready to kill. Now, the thing is, I want to find out what the arrest warrant was about. What was this arrest warrant about that you felt that you even had to shoot and kill this man? You know what I mean? First and foremost, and second of all, was he trying to attack you with this vehicle? Was he using this vehicle as a weapon? That's the question, you know. But so the deputy and the mayor and two other people yesterday on April the 21st around 4:30. Mind, the shooting happened in the morning, so they did a press conference 4:30 in the morning. 4:30 in the evening. The sheriff's department down there in Elizabeth City. But when you know to do this, do a press conference and don't have the conference. What you have the press conference for and don't answer no questions? I mean, no, like literally, don't answer no questions. You had no answers for nothing. Everything was, we gotta wait till the full we're gonna wait till the full investigation is finishes out of, like, we don't want to give anything. We don't know nothing. You don't know. Why are you having a press conference then? Why did you tell your PR person to set up the press conference if you ain't gonna answer no daggone questions at all? Even if you don't know nothing. Which we all know that's a freaking lie. You seen that footage, you just know you're dead, you know it was wrong. You know, you're trying to figure out how to clean it up and slice and dice them videos. That's what you're trying to figure out. But I live in North Carolina, so I already know what time it is. I know what's going on. I already know what's going on, what's about to happen. You know what I'm saying? They gonna hold out on that footage as long as they can, and with their minds, they thinking that the country gonna turn the cheek on it. No, they ain't. It's too much of this going around. It's coming back down to you. If I say the county name right down there, it's Pancroft County. Pancroft County in Elizabeth City. Elizabeth City was within Pancroft County. Okay? If I'm saying it right. If not, you know what I'm here. You get what I'm saying. So nobody's gonna drop this Pancroft County. We're coming back around for it. Everybody's going to keep talking about CNN going to be on you. CBS going to be on you. Everybody's going to be talking about it. This is a national thing right now, and this is why we need police reform. More so than ever. Them body cameras is, things happen. These people forget they got these body cameras on, man. And, I'm just really puzzled, like, how they they set up for a police a press conference, but didn't let the press them. They didn't have no questions for them. They couldn't answer the questions. They didn't know anything. Playing that game. That good old boy system ain't we on the national level, Jack. That ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all making it more and more evident why police reform needs to happen. Making it more and more evident. I don't know why y'all want to keep these hothead idiot cops on your force. Why you wouldn't want to extend your training? It's costing your city and state money and lawsuits and courts and things of that nature. Your insurance rates are going up. You know what I mean? Like, there's more to it. It's things happen. It messes with. It can mess with money for your city and your county if you having too many issues or having issues like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand. It goes deeper than what they see. And then you have it where these precincts are saying they crying, they short-handed or whatever. They don't have the money. You don't have the money because you got too many issues other than killings, police murdering citizens. You have issues other than that. Assault issues. Let's not forget that it could be lawsuits and all of that these cities are settled out for. You know what I mean? Some things that you ain't never hearing about. Like, this all will tap into their bank. But moving on, man, we're going to wrap this up. So what's up with this Johnson Johnson, this vaccine, man? We're going to talk about that real quick. So the vaccine, people getting sick and things of that nature from the Johnson Johnson, they had a plant. They had a plant that they found that Johnson Johnson was using, peeling paint off the wall. It was peeling paint. It was in this plant. Let's use it. A U.S. Food and Drug Administration inspection report found unsanitary conditions and other problems at a Baltimore manufacturing plant that ruined more than 15 million doses of Johnson Johnson coronavirus vaccine. The FDA reported the plant operated by Emergent Biosolutions is not maintained in a clean and sanitary condition. The report says the paint on the walls were peeling in several areas and paint flecks were found on the floor. The report also found brown residue on the walls and floors. In late March, the drug maker said it had found a problem with an ingredient used in a single-shot COVID vaccine at a production site in Baltimore, Maryland, and halted manufacturing there. The plant belongs to Emergent Biosolutions, one of more than 10 companies that Johnson Johnson is using to speed up the manufacturing. FDA officials reviewed security camera footage from the plant to conduct the report. The footage from January 27th to February 3rd showed workers failing to follow procedure to prevent cross-contamination in several instances. The production component containers and closures were not stored in a manner to prevent contamination, according to the FDA. We will not allow the release of any product until we feel confident that it meets our expectations for quality, reads statement from FDA. Let's just stop right there. First of all, why in the world are they still using Johnson & Johnson? Why are they messing with Johnson & Johnson? Remember the talcum powder? The government sued them. How do you sue somebody for the deaths of people for their talcum powder? And then you hire these people to manufacture a vaccine the vaccine. How do you hire these people? What? And then are we surprised here? No. Who? Why? And then why Johnson & Johnson using a plant? You can't blame emergent biosolutions. They know their building was jacked up. But hey, the government paying Johnson & Johnson. Johnson & Johnson come with some money and say, hey, look, we need to use your building. They say, hey, look, man, it ain't in the best condition. Johnson & Johnson say, oh, I don't care. We just need it. We got to get these doses out. You know what I mean? We got this contract. We got to make this money look good. You know how this goes. Come on, man. Come on, man. So then people get sick. They're reckless, man. Why are they using Johnson & Johnson? They reckless. That's all I got to say, man. And then people wondering why. Look, they produce it too fast. Okay? They produce that vaccine too fast. Each his own. To each his own. Use it. I ain't. Don't vaccine shame me. I ain't gonna vaccine shame you. But I got my reasons. I'm staying away. You know what I mean? It was produced too fast. That's all I gotta say. And this is what you have here. So that's just Johnson & Johnson. Just imagine the other two. So that's my time. I'm your boy Rashawn, aka Looker. This is Space Invaders TV. Peace and blessings to you all. Thanks for rocking with me. We'll be back next week. But make sure y'all share this, man. Tell a friend, tell a friend. You know, let them know what we talk about over here. We keep it all the way live, man. We talk about a lot of, world issues and things of that nature. And local and national issues here. I have real talk, real conversation. Like I said, peace and blessings to all of y'all, man. I'm out.